Everyone, how are you doing today? This is, of course, Luke with Owls. Who else would it be? So today we are talking about Ronaldo and Russell Brand. So if you don't know who Russell Brand is, Russell Brand used to work for MTV, used to be a big heroin user, and now is like this very centered individual that, makes you think a lot. Let's just put it like that. And so the main reason I wanted to do a reaction to this video, or not even reaction, just like I want us all to share in it in case no one else has seen this before. It makes you ask questions. In the previous video, we were talking about that we aren't trying to sell candy. And the reason is because it's sort of very hypocritical, right? It's like, here's some relief for you, by the way, this does damage to you. And I believe that we as a whole are waking up. And we are saying, wait, why would I sort of represent myself with this if this is going to do harm? And so we're going to watch this video, and I just want to, I'm going to be pushing questions back to you about what you think, and let's just get into it here and see what you all think. But Russell's great.
That's no nutritionally beneficial components. Ronaldo's Coca-Cola Euro snub has wiped billions off the share value of the sugary drink company's stock. This makes me wonder, should Coca-Cola even be involved with sporting events? And is financial reality and commercial reality as stable as we think it is? Or could we all just rearrange it into nothingness simply by being really bloody good at football and rejecting Coke?
So what do you think about that, huh? What do we do with our money? Does it make sense, right? We've got all, and especially, in America, we've got the NFL, we've got huge sporting events that are often sponsored by companies that actually make us pretty, well, again, I've got to be very careful with my words, but could possibly create harm to us. And because you get some superstar or whatever, to sort of, hey, I'm a superstar, and if you drink this, you're a superstar too. Don't forget about the fact that this has no nutritional value whatsoever, and it tastes really good though. So, and this is great here. Look at Ronaldo's face right now. He's looking at that. He's looking at that. Those two Cokes, like, who the fuck put this thing here? Thank you very much. No, thank you.
It's good though.
And I think before, right, it's like more and more people are beginning to say, well, hold on a second. I'm basically endorsing something that I, as a health star, right, I'm a star, whether you're, whether you're looking at the likes of, guess I should watch football more, like, God, I can't even, whatever his name is from the New England Patriots that everybody, Tom Brady, God almighty, Tom Brady, right? Same thing, it's like if you got a superstar like him and suddenly he's like, yeah, here, use this thing, or I like to use this, but really it's like, you're not using that when you're training, like you're selling yourself, right? And it was very important to not sell your soul, and I feel people are beginning to say, you know what, I don't want to represent myself with something that clearly everyone's like, this is shit, this is not good for my body. But yet we're gonna have this sort of contradictory, like, this is, I'm really healthy and this is really good for you, but this is really shitty. And I find that happens almost all the time in the hemp industry specifically. Here's this CBD, here's this D8, gives you good relief. Here's some high fructose corn syrup. Here's some artificial flavors. So let's go.
Ronaldo knows exactly where the edge of frame is, isn't it? His ability with geometry, developed from years of brilliant free kicks and dead ball situations, still applies when he's working out the size of a frame. That lens looks like it's about here, okay? Coke's out of the way, you're not getting any free promo from
Russell,
me.
I think, is
it's
great.
It's a brilliant stroke
he's a
of
comedian.
Idealism with what's going on with Osaka. It's like a time where we're looking at the role of sport and the way that sport functions and sports relationships with commerce. Now, sports relationships with commerce...
And then what he's saying here is, I think it's far deeper than just sports. I think it's everything. We as a human race are waking up to the fact of what is meaningful. Is money the power over everything? Where do we give our power away? Do we just basically get told what to do and we're just consume, and that's all we want to do through manipulation, through scheming, through whatever it is that can get you to spend your dollar on somebody else's product and then come back repeatedly? And I think we as a race, human race, literally give that power. We say, oh, these other people are in power up here and they're all in control and we can't do anything, where in fact we can.
Thomas, you could argue, look at what's behind him. Qatar, Vivo, Heineken, Volkswagen, TikTok, that's the Chinese government, Volkswagen, we all know who contributed to starting that little deal up. Qatar, you wouldn't have to look too far at the workers' rights there. Heineken, I mean, I've not done the research, but I mean, it's booze. So, you know, brands necessarily cause problems, because if you think about it, fundamentally what commercialism does, or what branding in particular does, is associates a project or product with a set of traits, notions and ideals that are not connected with it. And sometimes, as in the case of Coca-Cola, which is associated with vigour, virility, joy, youth, healthiness and abundance, it's actually
none of those things
antithetical to those values. You could argue, in fact, that Coca-Cola is bad for you. In fact, it says, yeah, Coca-Cola has no nutritionally beneficial components.
None.
You must have some nutritionally beneficial components. There are none. There are no nutrition. So after you've had it, have you had any nutrition? You've had none. You've had nothing at all. I mean, you've had raw energy. You could have just got sugar, put it under your eyelid and let it distribute through your tear ducts in your body. You'd have done yourself as good a job. Drinking it could lead to an increased risk of lung disease. Oh my God. Kidney decline, cell damage, asthma and mental health problems. It's nothing like the real thing, baby. I
think Russell Brand is great. Really just captivates the attention. Just think about it though, right? It's like, how often is there something that just you're looking at it and you're just like, what the hell is going on here? Or you can talk about the same thing, even McDonald's, right? Like, looks pretty, looks nice, tastes good, but there's actually nothing. Even it doesn't even mold. It doesn't even mold. You ever seen those, like, there's like a photo box of a burger that's just like sat in its case for like 3 years and it's never molded. It still looks the same. But yet we consume all of this. And who forces us to do that? No one. You all make a choice with your dollars about what it is that you want to do with them. And it's all to do with balance. And when you consume products that are junk, that have literally, like he's talking here, no nutritional value. How many Cokes do you have a day, right? It's like you're literally putting crap into your body and it's not good for you. And the more, and there is no more like, oh, I didn't know about this, because there's the internet there and you can search, you know, what's good for your body. And I can tell you, junk food, high sugar, like there's no even debates about whether vegan or meat, just even like having a good diet that doesn't contain like a huge amount of processed foods or just like straight sugar is going to be good for you, is not going to be good for you if you just eat crap. So don't do that.
The reason you have to associate it with sport is to counterbalance the true fact that it's not very bloody good for you. That's what we're dealing with here. I mean, it seems to me that in a rational world where you're connected to reality, you wouldn't have a drink that does that to your body. You'd test it, you go, hang on a minute, turns out Coca-Cola could lead to lung damage, kidney damage, respiratory conditions. Should we stop making it? Well, yeah, I see your scientific survey, but I offer you billions of pounds of profit. And guess who wins again? Now, look, no one's saying that there's anything wrong with turning a little bit of profit for labour done. But when you live fundamentally at odds with reality, it kind of has to be called out, doesn't it?
And this is what's happening right now, is that more and more and more things are coming out, and it's very hard to hide the facts. Or maybe, you know, we're as I've said in a few videos before, we're only beginning to see the effects of the internet. 20 years now of this interconnectivity between humans, and the freedom of information is at an all-time high, and it is extremely hard to bullshit. And I feel we've been fed so much crap that we are just sick and tired of it. And people want real. People want the truth. Even so much so that we, as we just see in this video, Ronaldo literally pushes this off to the side and is like, I don't want to be represented with that. We see this even in the UFC with Monster drinks. People being very unhappy with, hey, you got to do these things. Okay, we'll agree to this, but here you got to do another chat, a live video on Instagram, so you get your money. And it all comes back to money over what? Everything, right? Money over your happiness. That is literally insanity. And so let's go a little bit deeper into it here and see what else Russell has to say.
Second component of this that's interesting, of course, is the impact of Ronaldo's brilliant removal of Coca-Cola from the frame.
Coca. Boa tarde a todos. Queria dar as boas-vindas à conferência.
It's hard not to marvel at the sheer power of Ronaldo, a man who can simply say, ma, Coca-Cola, pa, agua, si, and that's it. I suppose another thing that's interesting is that Ronaldo's football skills are transferable to economics. After he did that, the share price dropped from $56.10 to $55.22. That meant the market value of Coke went from 242 billion to 238 billion, a drop of 4 billion. Now that may not seem much. It is much though, isn't it? And it also shows you that Coke's value is conceptual. The value is imaginary. Coke is valuable if we, or more importantly, if Ronaldo says it is.
This goes for so many things. Whether it's look at the American dollar, it's literally worthless. If anybody, you know, just look into what's happening with inflation right now. Look into what happens when you just print out $6 trillion from nothing. Imagine me just saying, "Here's a piece of paper. This has got value to it, and because I can print it, it's got value." That's literally insanity, but that's what the American government is doing. And now we've got the likes of crypto and other currencies coming out that can have more accountability. But it's like it seems to be that the whole entire structure that we've been living under, that we've been giving the power to, is no longer able to sustain itself. And this is just one example of a person saying no. And you all can do that too. It really just comes down to you deciding what is best for yourself. And does it really make you feel good to put products into your body that are not good for you?
Obviously, Coca-Cola paid money to have those bottles situated there. They didn't go for the ones on the background like Vivo and all these other dudes. They went for have it up the front so we see the athletes next to it, because we're such simple, little, lovely primates that if we see Ronaldo sat next to that Coca-Cola, something in us will go, Ronaldo's near the Coca-Cola. Maybe I'm going to get me some of that Ronaldo cola. Like, we can't separate it. We can't, in our minds, go, no, that's commercial. What is the point in having a sporting tournament that merely acts as a trestle table upon which products that are in one way or another not good for you are placed? People, of course, that are for free market capitalism say, no. What it does is the products find their market. It's the ingenuity of these entrepreneurs and pioneers presents these products, and if people want them, then they sell. But that's not the reality, is it? What seems to happen more is we got the software, is it the software or the hardware of primates, and we're dealing with complex information. We don't have the time to correctly discern. living in this sort of fast-paced world, and Coca-Cola is a peculiar product because it's sort of, in a sense, quite passé when we're in this Silicon Valley, big tech, Neuralink world where things might get embedded in our bloody consciousness. Good old-fashioned Coca-Cola, it's like something from a bygone era. But the simple fact remains that Coca-Cola is being granted a set of attributes through marketing that do not bear any relationship to reality. So whilst this might seem like a small and insignificant moment, it's significant in so much as Ronaldo in a single moment has affected a commercial enterprise by ignoring.
And so what is it? It's basically false. It's bullshit. It's not the truth. And I think it's important for all of us to observe yourself and say, where is it that you basically, turn a blind eye, or someone gives you money, so that's okay, right? Hey, just sell this, and you'll make lots of money from it. It's really not good for you, but just sell this and you'll get money. So just turn off your morals. And it happens throughout the world, right? Where it's like everybody at some point, it's like, can be bought. I think that's just a terrible thing to say. Terrible. And it's important for us to really think about what do we think of money? What does money mean to us? Is money money over happiness? Doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense.
Acknowledging the reality through gesture that Coca-Cola ain't good for you and shouldn't be involved in the sponsorship of a sporting event. And in fact, take it a little further. Don't you think that all products should be marketed through utility? Coca-Cola is a sugary drink. It tastes, let's face it, absolutely delicious, but it's really bad for your teeth.
McDonald's tastes very, very amazing, but literally is barely even food. Companies like Nestle lowering the total percentage of cacao in chocolate bars to like 11% to still be able to call it chocolate. Anything below that, you can't call it chocolate anymore. Like, how far, is it going to be? Okay, in a few years, it's 5%. As long as it's got 5%, it's still chocolate.
It's not all good for you. Research suggests it's bad for your lungs. There's no point in doing it. You'd be a lot better off if you never drank it at all. 80 pence a bottle. That's what an advert for Coca-Cola should sound like. Anything beyond that is a lie, is a hypnosis, is a manipulation of you as a consumer, a term that I fundamentally object to. Coca-Cola, one of the official sponsors of Euro 2020, which shows you that Euro 2020, their hands ain't clean either, because why would you accept money from Coca-Cola? Because it's a lot of money, that's why. But so then all of the stuff they're saying about community, nations coming together, sport, health, oneness,
bullshit.
None of that means anything when it comes to crunch time. A Euro spokesperson said players are offered water alongside Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar on arrival at our press conferences. How extraordinary. The press conference, by the way, of course, is the interface between the entity of the tournament and us, the public. This is where we get interpreted for us what the meaning of the event is. Now, the meaning of the event might be for you a love of football, a love of community, a love of competition, the excitement of watching these tournaments unfold, seeing players from your clubs playing different national teams. We're getting together behind, your nation as one, and the sense of community that can endow. Well,
and we all love that, right? There's no question. We all love that. We all want to be a part of something. We all want to have that camaraderie or, that competition. But again, at what cost?
Cups and European tournaments can be incredibly exciting, brilliant festivals that make us all feel together and connected. But primarily, they are a tool for commerce. If you take out the commercial partners, the events won't go ahead. If the athletes won't participate with the agenda of the commercial partners, then they experience problems, as we saw last week. So look at the information that's being presented to you, but take heart from the fact that if Ronaldo says Coca-Cola ain't valuable, Coca-Cola stops becoming valuable. Ronaldo might be more powerful than any of us as individuals because of his genius as a footballer, but he is not more powerful than whole communities. If whole communities say, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to be seen as a consumer. I don't want my life to be a vessel for commerce, my head to be full of concepts that are given to me simply because it's convenient for dominant members of cultural structures. Then you can choose to bow out. You can disavow it. You can disconnect. You can cut off. Coca-Cola becomes worthless if you decide that it is. More than that, nation states, mortgage agreements, all of these things can be changed. They're all held in place with somewhat fragile structures of faith and enforcement. It's only valuable because they tell you it is and you don't deny it. Once you stop cooperating and stop participating, the value begins to dissipate. Reality, therefore, comes through and is constructed by our imagination and our consensus. We can therefore imagine and consent to entirely different realities. Yes, we can keep the football tournaments, and we can extract, if we want, the commercial component. We can create different types of politics. All of these things are possible. The fragility of the membrane of reality can easily be punctured and exposed just by a single gesture from someone who is extremely good at doing step overs, brilliant at free kicks, and evidently knows exactly where the edge of the frame is. Ugh.
So funny, good, always good end to Russell Brand, and I think even Russell Brand is someone that you can look at who there was a time in his life, again back in the day MTV, where it was like, who is this mess, this joke of a human being, and has now turned into someone who is actually very much grounded, a lot of meditation, very much thinks about the bigger picture and the impact. And it's important for each and every one of us to ask those tough questions. And I just wanted to share this with you today because it's very important for you to decide on, where do you spend your money? How do you spend your money? Do you just completely, you completely just say whatever shows up in your phone or advertisement, you're probably going to buy it? And you see something, you like it, you buy it. You don't ever read the ingredients. You don't ever look at, like, what does this stuff do to my body? And it's important. I want to try and stimulate your brain to think about these types of things. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. Let us know in the bottom, in the comments. And if you like the video, please subscribe, and let's go from there. Thank you.